NCSY was a huge part of my father's life growing up in Savannah, Georgia. He always used to tell us stories about growing up and going to his Hebrew school and being so connected to his Orthodox synagogue there, and how NCSY was really the central focal point of their Jewish life outside of school and outside of family life.
NCSY started in small towns in the South and the Midwest, where people were concerned that their children were not meeting other Jewish teenagers. And then one day, the Southern region decided to expand and include Miami. We were yeshiva students in Miami. The students from the other communities were public school students from different backgrounds. It was Louis Cooper who immediately led the effort to bring the two groups together. Louis was a natural leader. He was soft-spoken with a deep accent. He was charismatic. And he cared deeply about his shul, his chapter, and his community.
My husband, Louis, was born in Savannah, Georgia, and he started NCSY when NCSY was just beginning. He was his chapter president. He was also an officer and regional officer, and I think he did something internationally also. Louis was the type of person who always wanted to give. Judaism was so important to him in NCSY, and he liked to give so much of himself. He grew up in a house that was always open to other people and his friends, and our house was always open. Our daughter Erin Erin Stiebel now. She is very active in NCSY. She knew that she always would because of us.
My dad spoke so highly of the speeches he would hear in the Divrei Torah and the words of inspiration, and how he really stored them and kept them in his heart and took them with him everywhere he went in his life. As he journeyed to medical school, as he joined the military, his NCSY experience was so critical to the inspiration that he gained, and ultimately as he ended up building a Jewish home for himself and his family, NCSY was something he looked back on so fondly. So when I was growing up, to my parents, it was a given that I would get involved in NCSY. They didn't even ask any questions. I was in a Orthodox day school, and despite that, they said, when you hit 5th grade, you'll join junior NCSY, and when you hit high school, you'll join senior NCSY. And I fell in love. I was given Judaism, everything was at my fingertips. I had all the learning opportunities I could dream of, but there was something about that special spark that's ignited in you when you enter an NCSY space.
I will forever remember and cherish the time that I spent with Captain Cooper, whether it was the countless Shabbos meals I had at his house, the random weeknights I found myself with him and his family, the time I had the privilege to spend with him abroad with his family on NCSY and other OU conventions. He always had a supreme and significant and sincere appreciation for life. I'll always remember the pure joy he got by just looking around outside at nature, conversing with family and friends, and other simple pleasures. And he was always there for advice, whether it was about what studies to pursue, courses to take, even Purim costumes to invest in, and later on in life, parenting advice. He was always there and eager and willing to help you. And even on the more mundane topics, his southern drawl always gave his advice more gravitas. But the proof is in the pudding, really. There's the children and countless families that he has saved, that's a given. But there's so many more, like me, who thank God have never needed his medical services, but whose lives are still forever changed and touched by the privilege that we've had to spend time with him and be part of his life. Dr. Cooper used to beautifully sing, Eitz Chaim hi lemach chazikim ba v'samcheha meyushar. Dr. Cooper's praise is his family and friends, whom he has taught to embrace life, and to love Hashem's world.
A warmth and a relationship that NCSY served as the cement, the super glue of creating a bond between those of us that grew up in the organization, that really you can't break it.
Louis was so humbled by this honor by NCSY, the Ben Zakkai Society, and it really meant so much to him. And I want to thank NCSY and Ben Zakkai Society for this honor for him. And he was the second person now in our family to be a Ben Zakkai after our daughter Erin, but he thought that was really great. Thank you so much.